Thanks for tuning in. In this video, we will run through the nursing program planning process in Nova. So now, if you click on programs, you will notice nursing is available. So click on nursing and then click on plans. Once you're in there, you have some filters across the top to find more easily what you're looking for. You'll see a list of colleges. This list of colleges or planning templates represents anybody that was allocated funds through the nursing program. So we have one for Allen Hancock here, which is in a submitted state. We'll check that at the end of this video. And let's go into Antelope Valley College. So once you click that, you will come in and you'll see some pretty standard Nova workflow steps detailed on the left. As always, there's validation on just about every step. Once you've completed all of the required fields, that validation will let you know that that step has been completed. And if not, it will show as incompleted. You can always move forward, but once you want to submit, each step will need to say completed before you're able to do that. So you need to complete all required fields on all steps. So first step being details, plan name. We've got a default name there, but you're welcome to change it. You can put a kind of an executive summary or an abstract narrative, the 2,500 character limit. And then just some information that we know about the top code, the allocation amount, the college. And if you scroll down further, there's some assurances. So you need to click there to show that you agree and will be compliant with all of the information that's listed in that assurance. Once you have done so, you'll see that this goes to completed, and we'll move into contacts. So you want to establish a lead contact. The lead contact is the person that is going to submit this plan when everything is finished. I can add alternate contacts as the lead contact and put names in there, and that will provide that person edit capabilities to this plan. So I can collaborate with multiple people if I choose, but ultimately I'm going to be the one that has to submit. Then we want to identify the district superintendent and the responsible admin. If you can't find who you're looking for, click this, first name, last name, put in their work email, and invite the user. They will receive an invitation to Nova, and you'll be able to add them. And then the approvers. So on this plan, the CEO, the CBO, and the fund monitor are your approvers. Enter your CEO into this field, and then you may also identify a designee contact. So if the CEO wants to designate the responsibility to somebody else, you may do so. And putting somebody's name in here will give them the exact same approval capabilities as the CEO. Once you've completed everything there, we'd move on to the need. So select an LMI evidence type. There is a drop-down. This is a consistent drop-down across programs in Nova. That is a required field. And then answer some of these narrative questions. They have a 5,000 character limit. And you'll see once I click in here, I can add links. I can add numbers or bulleted lists. I also have the ability to do bold, italic, underline, numbers, bullets. There's the link, or I can clear all formatting. So each narrative box in this program has the full kind of HTML capabilities on the text. Next item is response to need. Again, some more narrative fields with a 5,000 character limit. Answer all of those questions to the best of your ability within that character limit. And then the target pupil. So you would need to identify a minimum of 1 from each category: gender, age, race, ethnicity, and program type. And once we've completed that, you see we've done that, and then we move on to the work plan. So this is the bulk of the work and the bulk of the plan. So in nursing, it's pretty prescriptive. So a lot of what takes place in this step is just clicking, yes, I agree to the objectives, activities, and outcomes because they have been prescribed. I can click the chevron to collapse or expand each one. For each one, I will have to identify a responsible party. And then some have questions that need to be answered. So this one is asking for how many number of students, that type of thing. Read the activities and the outcomes, and then we would move to objective 2. So this is telling me there are required fields on this. And once I do that, add a responsible party, and I do believe there is a question on one of these. Yeah, time frame in months, time frame in months. And then I have to select from the radio buttons. But once I do so, I can collapse this. And you'll see on the first one, it says completed. So once you've completed one, you can collapse it and then not worry about it and just work through all of these. Once all of them say completed, I believe there are 7. All 7 do require that you check the box and identify a person, but not necessarily all 7 have any kind of input required, like this one. If I want to add a custom objective, I am able to do that. Write a description, identify the person, add some activities and outcomes, should I choose, and I can customize this with my own objectives. Once we've completed that, we would want to move into the budget. We know from the details tab that we have $100,000, and so I will need to budget for this entire $100,000 or this will not pass validation. So miscellaneous costs, instructional salaries, $60,000. We're going to hire an instructor in this hypothetical example. I also have some indirect costs where we get billed for building allocation for the use of space and materials. So I've put that in there as well. I don't know how relevant that example is, but just a hypothetical one. And I continue to build out budget items by clicking the add. And then I also have capital outlay. So I click capital outlay, I put in a description, put in a dollar amount. Be as descriptive as possible in this on the capital outlay because that's what they would like to know. So I can build out that. It'll tell me how many direct fund and indirect fund and what my allocation amount is. And I build out a budget until that says completed. Moving on to supporting documents. There are several supporting documents that I can add, which I'll show you. 2 are required. So I've added the management plan here, you can see, and then an org chart is also required. So if I want to add a document, I select the document type from this list. So org chart is required. Choose a file, I can add a comment, and then it would add it. Once I've added those 2 required documents, I've passed the validation, and I can move on to the success story. So I think this is pretty neat. This is a place where you can kind of boast about a success story that you have. And with the transparency in Nova, everybody's going to be able to read this, and it's a good opportunity for collaboration. So you would want to give your success story a title. What's the original challenge that we were dealing with? What is the success story? What's the outcome? And then soon we'll have a responsible person or a contact that we'll add here. So if somebody is reading this from another college, and they have a similar challenge, they could read the success story and reach out to that person to try to get more information or collaborate, which I think is really cool. Once we have completed all of our steps, we would go to review and submit. And this page is a summary of all of the inputs we have made from the prior workflow steps. From this space, I can bookmark it so I can easily navigate to it if I'm coming back here often. I can share it with others within the college or other contacts and just say, hey, this is the nursing plan we've put together. Please review it, give me your input before I submit it, that type of thing. And if everything looks good, I would click submit. So let's go to Alan Hancock since it's submitted and see what that looks like. So now I just have the ability to share and bookmark. It's in a submitted state. It's read-only, so at this point I can't edit because it's in the approver's hands. The designee here has approved this, so we capture who approved it with a date and timestamp. And once all 3 approvers have approved this, then it will go to a certified state. Once it's in a certified state, we're in the execution phase. So then we move on from the planning process into the execution. The approvers do have the ability to approve or reject. If they reject, there's a note, and you would receive an email that says, hey, I'm rejecting this. You clearly fat-fingered the budget. I believe the budget should be $100,000, not $1 million, something to that effect. And then you could go in, make edits, and then resubmit it. And there we are. That is the nursing program in a nutshell. As always, if you have any questions or you're running into any problems, there is the help desk feature down here, which you can click, get in touch, select nursing from the drop-down or the type, select nursing from the program, put in your comments, and that will go to our professional service provider here, and they will get back to you quickly. So thank you for tuning in.